Bonjour! Bonjour!
No.
Time for bladder check. Check.
So it's a show?
It's a lifestyle.
It's a religion.
My emotions! My emotions!
I'm still French.
Ouais, c'est pas faux.
I'm a woman, Mary. I can be as contrary as I choose.
Non, moi je crois qu'il faut que vous arrêtiez d'essayer de dire des trucs.
Hello, hi, I'm Laura. I'm gonna watch My Hero Academia Season 5, Episode 24. I just watched Episode 23. If you want to see my reaction video about it, I'm gonna put the link into the eye. I'm gonna put the link also for the playlist that I made for My Hero Academia in case you want to rewatch maybe all of My Hero Academia, all of the season 1, 2, 3, 4, all of the OVAs, all of the movies, and for sure all of this season 5 so far. In case you want to rewatch all of that, you can find all of my reaction videos for all of it into the chronological order with the playlist that I made for it, and I'm gonna put the link just right there. Today, I'm watching the 3 last episodes of the season 5. I was impatient to discover them because I was really feeling that for once My Hero Academia would finish with big moments of action. You know, normally My Hero Academia is doing that 2 episodes really before the end. Right now, really, this season 5 is gonna finish with big moments of action, with really big things. Maybe things can get a little calmer during the episode 25, but no, for me, we have still so many things to resolve before the end of this season that it can't be possible, or maybe for the 2 last minutes, something to tease us for the next season. Because you know, for what I expect for these 2 final episodes, it's the fact that now we had Shigaraki facing Re-Destro. That was already an amazing fight, with Shigaraki being so strong in front of someone who can get so big, and all thanks to his quirk. That was really impressive. We learned finally how Re-Destro quirk is functioning. I was right to think that it's not only his hand, his arm which can get bigger, but his entire body in fact. It's functioning with stress that he can really take, you know, and because of that he can get it out when he wants, and all that's so interesting as a quirk. I'm still wondering why does it mean that he's getting darker like that. I'm still wondering about it a little. No matter what, we saw their fight, which was already amazing, and now we have Machia who is coming. I could be like, he's gonna defend Shigaraki for sure, but at the same time I'm like, are we sure of it? Like, I remember that not so long ago Shigaraki was fighting Machia, in fact, because he was not considering Shigaraki good enough to be the new master. I'm not sure that his opinion about him really changed since then. And right there, even more, because Shigaraki, by going into that town, by betting on the fact that Machia would come and would help them, like, I think that Machia is gonna be, that's it, in fact, you need me to protect you, so you're not that strong, you're not that good yourself, like, again, I'm not sure that Machia is gonna truly defend him, but what the doctor told him, I don't know. I really don't know what Machia is gonna do, what is gonna happen right there. But I'm pretty sure that if we have a fight Re-Destro against Machia, it's gonna be impressive, it's gonna destroy the entire town. It's gonna take 1 episode at least, meaning that, again, all of these fights can't end during just this episode that I'm gonna watch right now, because after that, we still need to have an entire explanation about how the League of Villains ended by working with for the Meta Liberation Army, because we saw them. We saw Toga twice, Dabi, not Spinner, and I'm a little afraid of it now that we saw how hurt he was. I can't remember that we saw Spinner during this season 5 so far, so I'm a little afraid that maybe he can die. We'll see. But clearly, we saw these 3 at least working around Re-Destro? So are they working with, for the Metal Liberation Army? How did it happen, no matter what, to have an alliance against these two groups when right now they are just considering that they have to kill each other? And same for Shigaraki, we saw that the doctor was working on him, was making experiences on him, but we had Re-Destro talking about Shigaraki as a weapon, a strong weapon that he can use. So what happened? What happened? And that, for me, a discussion like that is gonna take a long time. So needs, yes, all of that needs these two final episodes. And then for me, we're gonna have a little thing, a little moment with our guys, our students, or maybe with Ox, discovering a little more about what these guys are truly planning together like that. During the previous episode, we had Shigaraki Origins. Finally, we had that memory about how he killed his family. He had finally access to that memory about how he killed his family, because so far he only remembered that he killed them, but he didn't remember how it happened. I knew that it was something that he did without wanting it, as a little kid who didn't know what his quirk would be, and clearly who couldn't handle it, and that's why he killed his dog, his sister, and for me also his mother, his grandmother, and his grandfather, not willingly, but he killed willingly his dad. As a kid, you know, for me, as a kid, when it happened, he didn't decide to kill his dog, clearly, because he didn't know what his quirk would be, and it happened because he was so sad and all. After that, he was just running after his sister to stop her because he didn't want to get punished, so he didn't want to kill her, clearly. After that, he was so shocked, so sad, so emotionally destroyed during that moment that he killed his grandmother, his grandfather, and his own mother. His own mother, who was trying to reach him to once again reassure him, because, you know, we had Shigaraki, his voice saying, "You never protected me against my dad, you were just saying don't cry, don't cry." As a 5-year-old kid, he can consider stuff like that. Like, these adults were complice, you know, because of their silence, because they were letting the dad do whatever he wanted to him with these rules and all. Okay, but as an adult right now, he should understand that they could have done better, clearly, but at the same time, they were there for him, they were kind to him, they were trying to reassure him, they were trying to not let him cry like that, and to change his mind, to still be there for him. And maybe they were forced, in fact, to obey to that dad who was so powerful inside of this house against them. It's really rough, you know, to face someone who is that toxic. It's really something brave to do, and maybe they were not brave enough. So for sure, it's something bad that they did, but to blame them that much, that now as an adult you're saying that you punished them by killing them, it's so wrong to think like that. Like the fact that he never made peace with what his father did to him. For sure, even as an adult, you can't accept and agree with a father who is hurting so much his son because he didn't want for him to dream of being a hero, and he had all of these stupid, strict rules. For sure, that dad was wrong, was bad, but when you can only see that as a kid, when you're an adult, you're gonna consider all of the reasons why that dad was like that, the fact that himself was mistreated by his own mother, who abandoned him, and he felt like she never protected him when she was supposed to be that big, amazing hero. She was that big, amazing hero for everyone else but him. Like, the dad had reasons to not know how to treat his kids, to treat them bad, to force all of these rules inside of this family about not considering respecting heroes because of his own mother. For sure, I don't agree with them. For sure, they were bad and this dad was wrong. But again, working on yourself as an adult, you're gonna be like, okay, the facts are that. My reason to be like that, they were that. His reasons to be like that, they were that. They were wrong, he was wrong. I understand why he was like that. I understand why it happened. And when you're adult enough to work on yourself and to make that work about understanding, working on a traumatic experience which happened to you, because of that you can make peace with yourself. Because of that you can make peace with that traumatic experience and really consider it with adult eyes. And for me, Shigaraki, he didn't do that because in fact he couldn't do it because he didn't have access to that memory. It was blocked. It was so traumatic for him that his mind blocked that memory. You know something weird during this memory? The fact that we can see the parallel with Dekku. Two kids without a quirk who were just dreaming about being an hero with a family who didn't think that they could do it. You know that I was not mad, but I was clearly not okay with Deku's mom, who was not encouraging Deku, you know, when he was a kid, who was crying in front of him like that and all. I remember that I was a little disappointed by her attitude and all, and after that I understood it a little more, but at first it made me a little sad for Deku, how his mom was acting and reacting. So for sure right there I can see even more the parallel between Deku and Shigaraki. I'm feeling so sad for Shigaraki, you know, for him as a 5-year-old kid. The fact that his quirk wasn't that, clearly it condemned him in a way because he could only discover his quirk like that by killing someone, by destroying someone or something. And it's awful, it's truly awful to think again now that he's keeping on himself members, hands of people that he loved, that he killed. They loved you also, Shigaraki. Like, I have the impression that you managed to convince yourself that none of them loved you because your sister was mean and she lied, you know. She was just a kid. She was just a little kid who didn't want to be punished herself, so that's why she said that you did it. These three, they just obeyed to dad, they didn't defend me enough. They were maybe afraid of your dad and they were there for you, they were kind, they were reassuring with you. You really forgot all of the good things that they did to you to just consider the fact that they didn't protect you enough. Yes, they didn't protect you enough, but it can't erase all of the good things that they did for you, to you. And your dad, for sure he was someone bad who did bad stuff to you, but he had his reasons. In his own weird and bad way, he was trying to protect you from a disillusion, you know, from a bad future, you know, something like what he lived himself. For sure he was wrong, but that's what he wanted, in fact. I don't know if one day Shigaraki is gonna understand all of what I just said. I don't know if yourself you ever thought of it. I'm pretty sure that not all of you are gonna agree with me. I'm pretty sure of that because each time that I'm trying to work hard on the psychology of a character like that, in particular for animes, you know, I'm thinking for example of Eren in Attack on Titan, I had so many comments telling me, oh, you're going too far with that character, you shouldn't consider all of these things, you know, in fact, it's just about that and that. No, like, it's not because a main character, like right there it's a villain, so maybe I'm gonna have less people defending him, But you know, even main characters that we love, they can have dark sides, and I'm not always gonna agree with everything that they're gonna do, and I can just try to understand them without agreeing with everything. So right there for Shigaraki, for sure I understand how he's thinking right now and all, but I can also consider that it's not good, you know, and that he shouldn't think like that, and by working on himself, if he would have had that chance, right now he would have thought differently. Okay, I'm gonna stop this intro, let's go for this episode. Remember that if you want to have my Patreon, on which we have 4 episodes of advance, meaning 2 weeks of advance, it's really a lot, with bigger reaction parts, sometimes a full reaction part, and I have the impression that for My Hero Academia, since a long time now, I'm putting only full reaction part because it's only big episodes, it's with full opacity also. All of these advantages, it's for you on my Patreon, to thank you, you know, to subscribe to my Patreon. I'm working hard to give you advantages, to thank you for being there on my Patreon. Let's go for this episode. 17 minutes, this intro, I'm sorry. I think that I just continued, you know, the review of the last episode during this intro. Stop doing that! How did he know you were right there and all?
君自身にもコントロールできないほどの破壊衝動を抱えている。そいつが溢れて体に知らせているんだ。かゆみとしてね。
Because of his quirk.
それは決してダメなことじゃない。
That I agree with it. It's not something bad, it's something that he can learn to control. But you're just pushing him to be bad.
心のままに動けばいい。でなければ君一人が苦しむだけだ。良心、道徳、倫理、全部誰かが作ったものだ。
Excuse me? To have values, it's overrated for you. That's it. Well guided, well helped. He wouldn't have become, you know, a villain. And I think that for all of these villains, the fact that this society maybe pushed them to become villains. For you, Shigaraki, it was clearly the master who pushed you.
記憶を閉じ込めた結果、感情だけが浮つく不安定な状態。不安なのさ。見ろよ。無意識化で個性をセーブしてる。僕は全てを肯定してあげる。破壊を貪る恐怖の象徴はよ。その大いな。気持ち悪い。吐き気がする。なんでだろう。
Because you don't like what you...
おめでとう。涙をこらえ、歯を食いしばり、君は生まれ変わった。プレゼント。君の門出を祝福してくれたあの二人の手。
Eh? Two guys that he killed?
記念すべき日の思い出を忘れぬようにね。見せておくれ、君の姿を。Shigaraki Tomura。
That's how you created him.
弔う。死を悲しみ別れを告げる。志村天子は弔いを招く存在へと生まれ変わるんだ。
We're never gonna see your real face, your first face. We saw him after that, you know, but... Your father, yes. For me, he managed to brainwash you so much. You're not gonna need Machia, maybe, in fact. Dabi, are you gonna accept for this fight to end like that? What was launched? By what? Your memory? Ew! Ah, you're gonna admire him now, Machia. I'm gonna consider him as the right successor of the master. From that locked memory, from that trauma. Even if I don't agree with how he's seeing it right now, for him it's liberating to think about it like that. He's not feeling ashamed, he's not feeling sad. He thinks that he was right, that everything is okay, it was his destiny, and everything turned out perfect. Oh, that smile! That loss! But how did you end up working with the Metal Liberation Army after that? Oh, heck. Machia for sure is gonna respect you more. You were the one to destroy this entire town, not Machia. I thought that it was Machia. Why? Il se monte Dieu. Et I don't understand. I don't understand how he could stop the inside, people queer. He's going with your values. Oh, I really thought that it was the contrary, that Shigaraki ended up by working for Re-Destro, but it's the contrary. Yes, the right successor of the master. The master, it's the first time that we saw a little of his real face. Looked like a knight. He? She's dead? Eh? Yes, she's alive. So in fact, yes, the Metal Liberation Army is working for the League of Villains. With, but more for Oh yeah.
Re-Destro である。
あなた全部壊れたんじゃなかったのですか？
一つだけ無事だったんだが。
Which one?
地にとらわれ、教えに縛られた私は、あそこで真の解放を見た。これは幸福ではない。この信楽友田こそが真の解放者であると、異能解放軍および慰安連合を融合し、新たな名を冠する。
Which one?
さあ、その名をShigaraki Tomura。超人解放戦線。
Paranormal Liberation Front.
異能の枠組みをさらに広く解釈できる者とした。また壇上の9名を行動隊長に任命し、
Okay.
並行別に部隊編成が名前なんてこれと同じ。飾りだ。好きにやろう。生きてんのが奇跡レベルのダメージだったからな。あんたの言ってた最低限の格はついたと思うぜ。記憶も戻り、個性も含め本来のお前に戻った。力を授けよう。お前がそれを望むな。
We saw these experiences. That's a real reveal for me. The fact that it's not the League of Villains and Shigaraki who abducted, you know, in front of Re-Destro and the Metal Liberation Army. It's the contrary. It's Re-Destro and the Metal Liberation Army which abducted, who accepted to work with for the League of Villains. At the end, you know, they're all saying it's an alliance and stuff like that, but I guessed that one of them won against the other one with that big fight. I really thought that it was the Metal Liberation Army which won, when in fact it was the League of Villains with Shigaraki. I'm wondering, you know, for sure I'm gonna talk about the fight, everything that happened and all, but I'm wondering if it means, you know, like I said during the previous episode that Shigaraki is not working on himself and didn't have the time to work on himself because he just unlocked that memory about what he did to his family, how he killed them. I just want to work on myself for some seconds right there and to be like, did I really not consider enough Shigaraki to think that he couldn't win that fight? Maybe yes, maybe I never really respected him as a big leader for all of the villains of this world. Like, if All Might was the symbol of peace for all heroes, for sure the Master was a symbol of hate for all villains. I never considered that Shigaraki would be his true successor, would be ready for that. I never considered him as a figure, you know, someone who could lead all of the villains. And I think that I said it before, you know, the fact that for now, sometimes how he was reacting and acting felt maybe more, not childish, but I don't know, not good enough to be the successor of the Master. So right there I have the impression that with this fight and how it happened and how it ended, for sure you gain the respect of Machia to be the true successor of the Master, of Re-Destro to be in fact the leader of all of the villains, but you gain also my respect, and I think through that the respect of all of the viewers, like in fact you can be truly that big villain that this anime needs. Do you understand what I mean? So far I never had the impression that he was any of these things. The successor of the Master, the leader of all of the villains, and the big villain that we are waiting to have to fight at some point against Dekku. And with this fight and how it happened and how it ended, how it was resolved, now you gained my respect and I'm gonna be like, okay, you're gonna be that one. And that's something great and something in fact that I already discussed before, the fact that I understood that with this anime, for sure we are seeing Dekku becoming the best hero that this universe never had, but I guessed that we were seeing also Shigaraki becoming a big villain. But I didn't think that it would happen already so quick and like that, in particular with this moment with the Metal Liberation Army. Now they are, oh fuck, I forgot. The Paranormal Liberation Army? No. The Paranormal Liberation Front. Okay. Shigaraki is right, it's a formulation, you know, which is gonna please a lot of people, and for sure maybe thanks to that name, thanks also to having with them people who were convinced by Stein, people who are convinced by the book of the Metal Liberation Army, they can convince really people who don't want to be villains to in fact join them when there are a group of villains, of official villains who did, you know, who committed criminal things. Okay for that, you know, for that conclusion, but really the fight itself, I really thought that Machia would intervene, Machia would be there to defend Shigaraki, Machia would be the reason why all of this town was destroyed, you know, at the end, because we knew that this town was destroyed, but no, in fact, Shigaraki did all of it, all of the fight and all of that destruction. Against Re-Destro, who was coming after him again and again, he managed to find the strength to fight him because he unlocked that memory. I'm gonna repeat what I said during this episode. He's seeing this memory still, I think, with his child's eyes. He's considering that he was right to kill them, or at least that it's okay if he killed them, that it was his destiny, that thanks to that he met the master after that, and the master showed him his right path and made him proud of himself, of his quirk, of using it for doing bad stuff. I think that he totally believed and embraced the master telling him, your quirk is defining you, your quirk is about destruction, you're about destruction, you have to destroy everything. It's really bad, you know, because it's going with their ideas, you know, inside of this universe that I truly don't like and don't agree with. The fact that when quirks are appearing, you know, with these kids, they have to be registered like that and they are considered as potentially dangerous because of their quirks. And I'm saying it since the beginning, I have the impression that because of that, this entire system is pushing some of them who has quirks which can become dangerous ones. They are pushing them, in fact, to become villains, you know, to do bad things. They are not considered as the other kids. I think clearly that's what they did with Toga. Toga was not appreciated for her quirk, was not helped, well guided with her quirk. She could have become someone different if she would have had a family who would have supported her, helped her with that quirk, to handle it, to deal with it, to find a way to feed, you know, that urge of blood and all. And clearly the system and her family, pushed to be like that by the system, made her a villain who she is right now. And I have the impression that right there for Shigaraki, it's not the system which did it, it's really more the master who pushed him to be like that. But I have the impression that all of what he did, Shigaraki, it's almost like the perfect example to justify that this system is functioning like that. Do you understand what I mean? If the system would have registered that a kid like him would exist, for sure they would have intervened, and not the good way. And I'm pretty sure that, you know, like really, it could have been the perfect example, like we have to intervene really fast for kids to not turn wrong, and see, we couldn't have intervened and it turned really wrong. It's because someone took him under his protection, made him think all of that, pushed him, guided him to think like that about his quirk and to use it for these reasons, when really I truly believe that, for one thing, his memories for now is seeing them as really a 5-year-old kid, meaning that for now he can't see that his sister was just too young to understand what she was doing. The rest of his family, okay, they could have intervened to protect him more, but at the same time they were so kind with him, they were trying to protect him in a way by reassuring him, by not letting him alone, by being there for him and all. And his dad for sure was someone who hurt him and that was not okay and all, but he had reasons to be like that and it was his own weird and bad way to protect him. So really, he can't see now his memories for what I think, correctly, and for sure his memories with his master correctly, because he can't see that that guy brainwashed him, in fact, to think like him. And for me, I truly believe also that this urge of destroying, like for Toga, that urge of blood, was not pushing them to become villains, no matter what, I really believe that there is a path for both of them to become good persons and even more than that, maybe heroes, if they would have been well guided, well pushed, loved enough. But it never happened. The fight was truly amazing. Shigaraki, to see him like that, so strong and all. That moment with the master appearing like that, we still can't see his face, not truly. We saw his face, but his face being so destroyed and all. His real face, we never saw him for real. But how is, his shadow is looking like, the fact that now we know that he was blonde before all of that, I'm really like, was he related to All Might, The predecessor of All Might? No, it can't be. But why that mystery about his face till now? Oh, for sure, these 2 episodes were full of big informations, of big memories, of deep things for Shigaraki, his true origin, and really surprised me by the conclusion of that fight. It's Shigaraki who won, Re-Destro who abducted. We have an Alliance League of Villains and Meta Liberation Army with the Paranormal Liberation Front. But clearly with the League of Villains having the advantage, in fact, at the end. It's changing stuff, like really for the future, it's changing stuff. It's changing stuff with that position for Shigaraki to be the real successor of the Master, to be the leader of all of the villains, to be that big villain for this anime, the one that we're gonna have to fight, to deal with at some point for Dekku. And really, I thought about the fact that this anime was showing also Shigaraki becoming a great villain, like we are seeing Dekku becoming a great hero, but I thought that Dekku would become the best hero. I never thought that Shigaraki would become the best, worst villain that Dekku would have to fight. Do you understand my logic? Do you understand what I mean? Okay, that was cool, that was really cool. One more episode to go for me today and to finish this season. Normally it's gonna be slower now. Or maybe Ox is gonna discover a lot of that, and maybe the plan that they are preparing for the season 6. We'll see, and I'm gonna see that right now for you. It's gonna be in another video, so it's all for you for this video, and it's all for me for now. So bye for now. Bye.
Wait a minute, Doc. Are you telling me that you built a time machine?
Hey.